Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. In this one, I would like to do a deck profile for Weezing. So Weezing is a super cool card from the latest set, Destined Rivals. It has the attack Explode Together now. For Dark and a Colorless, this attack does 40 damage for each Pokemon in play that has Koffing or Weezing in its name, both yours and your opponent's. So if you're in the mirror match, then you basically just get to one-shot each other, which is really fun. But I mean, you're probably doing that anyway. But it's still a very fun interaction, and I'm glad they included that. But yeah, so this does include Team Rocket's Weezing and regular Weezing as well. So it's quite important that you play 4 of the other Koffing, just because they're quite easy to find with Poffin. But also regular Team Rocket's Koffing has a very nice ability that just says when it's damaged, you can search your deck for 2 Pokemon that have Koffing in their name and put them onto your bench. So if you have to go first and your opponent uses, say, a Buddy, then you can take 10 damage and then search your deck for 2 Koffings, which is quite nice. The deck also plays a couple of other Pokemon. We've got Team Rocket Sneasel, which says this attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each damage counter on that Pokemon. So basically, if we can't gust this turn and we just want to KO or finish off a Pokemon that we've already severely damaged with Weezing, then we can just come in there with Team Rocket Sneasel and just finish it off, which is really helpful. Also got a Team Rocket's Mimikyu, which is a great pivot for the deck. It has free retreat, which is nice, but also has a really good attack, Gemstone Mimikry. Choose one of your opponent's active Terra Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. So if you just fancy copying Dragapult's attack, basically, then, it's there to copy, or Charizard, which is really nice. And I've also got an Articuno in this list, which does have the ability Repelling Veil, which will basically just protect your basic Team Rocket's Pokemon from Dragapult. It won't protect your regular Koffing, which is a bit of a shame. So if you want to have regular Koffing on the bench in the Dragapult matchup, you will have to evolve them up into Weezing. Now this Weezing is pretty cool. If it's in the active spot and gets KO'd, there's actually a 50% chance it goes down swinging and basically just takes out your opponent's active Pokemon, which is very funny. It's not going to happen all the time, and I definitely wouldn't rely on it for KOs, but, it's just something to bear in mind if you have to use it. Also has the attack Spinning Fumes, which for 2 colorless energy does 50 damage, and then 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So that's kind of it for the main attackers. As for the trainers, we have more of a focus on a proper Team Rocket's engine. So we do play 4 copies of Team Rocket's Transceiver. And basically, this is really good, Transceiver rather, I should say, because it just means that we can find Proton on the first turn. So if you go first, you can use Proton on the first turn of the game, going first, and you get to search your deck for 3 basic Team Rocket's Pokemon, which typically is just 3 Koffing, you may as well just get all the squad out. So get all the Koffings out with Proton, which is nice. But then, the item is still great because it finds you your draw engine, so Ariana, which is great. Also have Archer, which is very disruptive, so you get to shuffle draw 5, and your opponent gets to shuffle draw 3. It only triggers after one of your Team Rocket's Pokemon gets KO'd, but, that's probably going to be every turn because, the biggest HP in this deck is, 130 HP or something? Yeah, 130, so quite fragile deck, quite a fragile deck. So yeah, you want to be using them. Also got 1 copy of Petrel in here, just in case we need to find a certain A-spec, or a Gust effect, or a tool card that we might need. So it's nice to have Petrel in here as well. Also got Team Rocket's Factory for just a bit of extra draw power, but also just, anti-stadium. And if our opponent, owns us down to 3 or 4 cards, then it's always nice to have a Team Rocket's Factory just to get kind of back into the swing of things. Also got Team Rocket's Giovanni, which is basically just Guzma, which is really nice to see. So yeah, Giovanni's a really good gust effect. I have gone with Unfair Stamp as the A-spec of choice here. To be honest, there is some pretty good ones, Maximum Belt isn't that half bad, just let you know, helps you get KOs against bigger basic Pokemon. But also, you could play Hero's Cape if you fancy being a bit tankier. You could play Prime Capture, although I probably don't think Prime Capture is worth it. Legacy Energy probably wouldn't be too bad here, but I think just an extra, draw shuffle thing is also just quite nice. So, Unfair Stamp. I can see why the original Japanese list was playing this, by the way, because this is a list from Japan. So, I can see why they wanted Unfair Stamp in here. Also, the other supporter we have in this deck is Colress's Tenacity. Now, the original list was playing 1 copy of Janane and only 3 copies of Weezing, but I decided I kind of preferred having the 4 copies of Weezing in case one was prized and it only went down to 2, which was a bit rough. So I decided, kind of need 4 of our main attacker and then basically just removed a Janane. But you could play Janane if you wanted some additional energy acceleration. Speaking of energy, play 4 basic Dark Energy and 4 Team Rockets. this is how we're going to power up Mimikyu and our Weezing in general. You can never attach this to a regular Weezing, so like don't do what I did, which was thinking this would provide one colorless, and I accidentally slapped it on a Koffing, not realizing this, and yeah, had to discard it, which, you know, sucks. So definitely don't do that mistake, but yeah, it's a very good card otherwise. It is a bit of a shame that we can only play 4 copies of this, but, you know, fingers crossed we get a special energy, or like a special charge reprint, I guess, something to just recover special energy. But yeah, that's a Weezing deck list. I have really enjoyed playing this, but I'll definitely say the main weakness for Weezing, sadly, is just like a lack of a proper draw engine in form of Pokemon, and also the fact your damage is actually kind of low. You know, like Weezing's typically only doing like 200, 240, 160, that kind of number. Like you're still two-shotting everything, but at the same time, you're never one-shotting any of like the really big Pokemon. And I would say that's like the main downside of Weezing right now. But yeah, let me know what you think about this deck down below. Have you had any much success with Weezing? Do you enjoy playing it? And yeah, thank you for watching. So yeah, I don't think there's much point in attaching a Rocket's energy, just because, you know, if they play Crushing Hammer and stuff, and I'm pretty sure they have one in the mulligan, then yeah, not much point in doing that. So we'll just have to see what my opponent does here. They do attach a lightning energy. So I'll have to see if they bench anything else, because we could potentially knock them out this turn, depending on like what TM they get. I suppose like TM Devolution is kind of annoying for us, but they still like one-shot us anyway, so... Okay, Turbo Energize. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. So we won't be able to win off this, which is a bit unfortunate. It would be nice to get like an immediate KO on this guy. So they discard a Jamming Tower, which is good. Hopefully means we can win the Stadium War. And it might just be a good idea, actually, to try and go after the next one. Okay, so yeah, if he does do Turbo Energize on this one, then we might just want to use a Giovanni. Okay, is he looking to get a KO, perhaps? Absolutely. A switch, I guess? You gonna play a switch? Nope, just a Turbo Energize. I think that has to be to the bench, right? I think. It's not gonna let me see. Yeah, I think it's to the bench. Okay. So what I'd love here is actually just like another Koffing or something. Okay, so we do get an Ultra Ball. I will bench... Well, I'll evolve a Weezing. And I think we can go ahead and do this. So I'm going to play an Ultra Ball, discarding Articuno, and I think Mimikyu. Mimikyu is kind of nice as a pivot, but I don't think it's going to matter too much here. Then we can go get a Koffing. Yeah, we just want to get a normal Koffing. And then what we can do now is play a Giovanni. And this puts us in a pretty good spot. So yeah, we'll Giovanni here. So yep, pick up this guy. And then we'll evolve here. Or attach here, I should say. I'll evolve another Koffing. And then, yeah, I'll just attack into this guy for 200. So we were one Koffing short there, but still nice to get the first hit on the one that has like the most energy. So we'll just have to see what my opponent does. I'd imagine they have some sort of healing in their deck, be it like Professor Turo Sonara or whatever. But they do go for the Eri, which won't do anything to us. But they will get to look at our hand at the very least. So yeah, we do have the Rocket's energy. We could actually... Although, yeah, we'd need to like top deck a Dark Energy if we wanted to attack with Wheezing. Because that would have been really nice, to be honest. Like, if we could have Yeah, if we could have like had a dark energy in hand, then we maybe could have attacked with Weezing. But I'm going to go ahead and evolve here. Promote here, I should say. And we at the very least get 2 prizes, but... Okay, that's pretty good actually. So I'll evolve there. I think I'll probably... Even though we're about to go even on prizes, but I think... Yeah, I think I'll attach there. I'll attach here. Now we do want to start seeing some other like energy and such. So play Ariana. Okay, we get another Koffing. That's pretty good actually. And we do get another Rocket's energy, which is great. And then I will, yeah, just everyone explode now. For the knockout. It would have been great to get like a one-shot on this guy, but I mean, we can try and do it next turn. It's not like impossible. It's just a wee bit tricky is all. So we get a Vessel and an energy. Energy's not so bad actually. Vessel isn't horrendous just because, yeah, we might want to see what we get off this. Yeah, because we might have to Vessel and then Transceiver for something else. It would be great if we could get the one shot though. Would definitely like to do that. So they kind of need to bench another Iron Thorns this turn. Then they can like go ahead and attach next turn, I'm guessing. So yeah, they get another KO. We are down a few Wheezing. So there is actually a good chance we could have prized one, but I'll go ahead, promote the wrong Wheezing here, promote that one. And yeah, I think we'll receive her. Because we probably want to just use Ariana this turn. Although we could, yeah, we could use Archer. Archer's not a bad idea. Yeah, I think I'll use Archer. So then I'll Ultra Ball away Proton and Vessel. Yeah, get rid of these guys. Get ourselves another Wheezing, so there is at least one more in deck. Now we would need to find the other 2 Koffing in order to get the KO. But I feel like there's every chance we can get it, so may as well try and go for it. I'll play an Archer. So my opponent does shuffle as well, so they might draw into something they can use, which is always a bit of a worry. Okay, I think we just, yeah, I think we just win off that. Yeah, because we can just do like double Poffin, double Koffing on the bench. Cool beans. And then skadoosh. Goodbye. So we finally get to do the 240. So yeah, we might have run into a bit of bother there without our Team Rocket's energy, but things went pretty smoothly.